Hey, everybody. I'm like really, yeah, like it is morning. Well, most all places, right? Okay, so I sent out an email earlier this week talking about how we're hiring at May Create because we're hiring actually for a couple of positions. So that's exciting. And then I also had someone email me this week asking like where should they put job postings online, how do they figure that out? And I've also had multiple client meetings in the last few weeks where people have been asking that same question. And so while I am not like endeavoring into HR as a career, because hiring people is actually one of the most anxiety inducing things that I do for my job, um, I do have to do it. And so I was just gonna like give you guys some insight into what I do, and maybe it'll help you because everybody's situation is different, right? Okay. So the first thing that you have to figure out, or first thing that we have to understand, is that every job is different. So I can't just say blanket statement, oh, you should post your jobs on LinkedIn, or oh, you should post them on Indeed, because quite frankly, that might not be the right place for you. But I'm going to show you how to figure out that place for you. The second thing that you really have to figure out is, what do you even call your job? Some jobs are like super straightforward. Like if you're looking for an executive director, if you're looking for an executive assistant, like those things, a secretary, these things are like normal job names, right? But then we all understand that there's so many more jobs out there, and they are, especially in a small business, you wear multiple hats. Like, what do you call those people? How are people searching for that job, right? So the process I'm going to take you through for the next few minutes is going to help you understand what people might call the job that you're trying to hire for. And also at the same time, we will evaluate what sites they will probably end up going to find that particular job. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Boom, share. Hi, friends that are with me. Feel free to ask questions or comments. I can see them pop up on the screen, so that's fun. Okay, share screen. Now I'm gonna get really crazy looking for a second, and then I'll pop over here. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, what do I think I would call this job? So the jobs that we're hiring for right now are project manager positions. I call them project managers. Some people call them account executives. Some people call them account managers. I mean, there are so many names for it, right? So some people call them project coordinators. So first, I'm just going to give you an example. Project manager jobs, Columbia, Missouri. All right, so as I look through these listings, first look at these. Do they match up with what you're looking for? Does this match your job? Next, I want you to come down here. You can see all the things in purple because I already clicked on them, okay? So now I want you to look down here. What is coming up in the search listings when you search for the name of the job, whatever you think the name is, in Columbia, Missouri? So I have Indeed, Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, Simply Hired. All right, now I'm going to show you my Google Doc with notes on it to explain how I want you to track this stuff as you're going through it. So project manager in Columbia, Missouri, right? Then just write down, these are the websites that I see. This is the order that I see them in. Then I want you to look at each one of them and take note of what you're seeing. So I see when I search for project manager jobs that a lot of them are actually construction jobs. That maybe that's because we serve a lot of construction companies, and so that's why we call our people project managers. That could be it. And then if you see anything out of the ordinary, see how I put notes next to each one of these? That's what I want you to do as you go through it. The challenge is if you don't write down every search term that you use, whether it works or not, the different sites that you see, and how they match up with the person that you're looking for, you will forget every time because there's just so many of them out there, and all the stuff looks the same, for crying out loud. So then you'll search for the next thing you think it's called. So It might be a marketing project manager. It might be an account executive. It might be a project coordinator. It might be a web project coordinator, a marketing project coordinator. So you're going to do the same thing with your jobs, right? Now, the reason that I have Columbia, Missouri on the end of this here is because I really want this person to be in my office. So I feel like the person who is looking for that job will be looking for the job in the community that we're in. So they're looking for a job in their own town. If you have a job that's a completely remote job, then that might not necessarily be exactly the same for you, because then you might just list it as project manager. Or you might just search for the words project manager. If you search for something more general without the actual location behind it, you'll get different search results. So my advice is, if you're looking for somebody to come into your office and work, put the city state behind the search terms. If you're not looking for somebody to come into your office and work, just leave it broad. Okay, so then after you have this all down here, right, and like I said, you're just gonna click on these things and you're gonna look and see what comes up. After I did this, I was like, I don't think I want to call this person an account executive, because this really isn't the job that we're hiring for. We're hiring somebody to help people through the process of building their website and talk back and forth with our clients. We're not hiring a salesperson. And it turned out that a lot of account executive jobs, when I looked at them, are basically sales jobs. And a lot of them look like they suck. So you would do the same thing for yours. Then after you're done with this work, you'll go through, what is the pattern that you see here? I see Indeed, 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 right? Indeed is the top for every single one of them. So I probably need to make sure that I have an ad on Indeed. Right now, my ads are on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is further down here. So that could be why my ads aren't doing as well as I want them to do, right? And then I also see Glassdoor. But when I looked at all those Glassdoor listings, they didn't match. Like it's going, so I set up here, I said account, so this is project manager, right? And I said, well, this is the same thing as project manager. The marketing jobs don't match. So I'm not going to place an ad on Glassdoor for myself, because it didn't match and it didn't make sense, right? That's back to account manager. So just take your notes so that way you can parse through it. And then you'll go forth and you'll know then what to call the job that you're placing an ad for in the place. So what I'm going to do once I get done with this is I'm going to go put some more money behind my Indeed ads, because they are indeed in the right location, apparently. Now, one thing that people have asked me is, you know, where should I be placing my ads? Like what, why or why not, in what location? And so here's the deal. My Indeed ads tend to cost me more money than my LinkedIn job ads. Like they do. And for certain jobs, they don't get me as many candidates. I find that usually for managerial type roles, LinkedIn works really well. It's just not working really well for me right now. Could be because I had the job title wrong. I thought it was the right job title. Maybe it's not, right? So the great thing about Indeed is they do have a really nice user interface to help you manage all of your people coming through the pipeline and set appointments with them. They even have a video conferencing system built in. So it's really nice. And so it's very easy to manage your candidates through Indeed. LinkedIn doesn't have any of that. It's just like talking to people via chat on social media. So if you are using LinkedIn for hiring, make sure that you write down, you're going to have to create your own spreadsheet and you're going to have to kind of manage it on your own. So make sure that you write down everybody's email address. Sometimes it's not that people aren't interested in your job. It's that they just aren't checking their LinkedIn chat all the time. I mean, I don't check mine all the time. So why would someone else be, right? Okay, so to recap what I just explained in very Monica non-linear way is the first thing you need to figure out is what to call your job, because sometimes it's not obvious. Then I want you to search for the different names of the jobs. out on Google. You write down what you find. Here, I'll show you my sheet again. No, I don't want to remove this. Actually, oh, wait, okay. So, whoa, there we go. So then you're going to write down all of the websites that show up at the top for each one of the search terms that you use. You'll write down whether or not they matched. And then you can go through and you can see, all right, look at all these Indeeds. So for me, Indeed is where I need to place my ads. And for me also, I know that LinkedIn is a good place to place my ads. And while Glassdoor does show up really high, none of the stuff matched. So I'm not going to put ads out there. And I really thought I was going to place ads on ZipRecruiter, but all of the ZipRecruiter ads were all for construction project management jobs. So that didn't really match up what I was looking for either. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight, method to my madness. And yeah, boom. So okay, let me get myself beginning it. Does anybody have, does anybody have any questions about my extremely nonlinear explanation of how I do this? I just thought I'd share because I know that you guys are going through this the same way that I am. And man, don't you just wish you could find the perfect person just magically? So if you have questions, you can direct message me. You can put them in the comments. You can send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. Thanks.